Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. Ooh, we're having a storm right now. I wonder if you can hear the rain, maybe the thunder as well. We have a tornado watch also. I am finishing up this page for today, October 31st. I had to work today and it's been a kind of an unusual day, somewhat busy. I don't really know how to describe it. I have felt a little out of sorts. So this is a tiny bit of the Distress ink and I added some water to it. So it's really faint and it's almost empty again. I think that might be the last of that. But I did want to use this up on this page. Can you hear the rain? Oh, I hope the power doesn't go out. Ooh. Can you hear things falling on the roof? I hope it's not a tornado. Whoa. All right. So what I'm going to do, and here is the card that I had put in earlier, and I know I mentioned this string that was tied through. It's getting quiet. I wonder how many people watching this have lived through a tornado. I have. It was really scary. It did not touch down in my yard, but it flew over. And I heard the warning on the TV. We had PBS at the time. We didn't have any other channels. We just had the public broadcasting where, let's see, October. A lot of educational things, and my kids would watch, you know, like Arthur and Sesame Street and things like that. And I know you heard that. So one afternoon, they had said we were under a tornado watch. And, you know, I think about it, but I don't obsess over it. And then I kept hearing this constant alarm on PBS, you know, the weather alert coming through. So I jumped up and went around to listen, and there was a tornado warning. And they said it was, you know, they said where it was, how fast it was moving, and what direction it was moving in. And it took me like a full minute to just process, to stand there, and I thought, that is headed straight for us. So I got all of the children. I had a baby at the time. Michaela was a baby. So Daniel was 10. And we got in the closet. Fortunately, we were doing some work on the house, and we had a closet that was completely empty. The noise got louder and louder and louder, and I had called my then husband and told him, you know, that I was worried. The phone went dead. I saw a big branch. The closet door was not closed at this point, but I saw a huge branch fly in front of the window, and at about the same time the phone went out. I'm gonna be cutting some things, and this is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to tell you about this that I'm cutting up right now to go in the journal. So of course that scared my ex-husband, because the phone went dead, and we got in the closet, closed the door, and it was so incredibly loud, and it did sound like a train. And when it finally, the noise kind of died down, I cautiously came out and looked outside, and the wind had pulled up this massive, the house was about 100 years old, and there was a black walnut tree that was taller than our two-story house. It was a big two-story house. So I don't know how old the tree was, but it had pulled it up out of the ground and laid it across the corner of our neighbor's house. Things that were right at the back of the house had been pulled up and were sitting on top of the house. It was very, very, very strange. I'm just so thankful that it didn't touch down. It went over our house. I got kind of sidetracked, but just listening to the storm outside and knowing that there is a tornado, it's a watch, I guess. We're to watch for, you know, conditions are favorable. So let me tell you about this page. This is the last one. I have to write something in here for myself about this month. I love this pansy in here. Native Flora by Lloyd Everett. I don't know who Lloyd Everett is, but it's definitely handmade. I bought it from the scrap exchange. I love this flower in here. This flower looks like it has an eye in the center. And I love how that ties in with the journal and the theme that we've worked with. I put this picture here of the door. It looks sort of scary. I'm probably going to do some staining, distressing, or stamping on this side of the card. In fact, while I'm talking, let's just see, you know, if we went around the edge. It looks to me like this has been covered with some sort of like contact paper, and you can see that. It's kind of repelling this ink, but it is taking somewhat, taking the ink. So let's just distress while we're talking. I've decided that I am going to put, I know this, let's see, I don't want that. Sometimes this stamp wants to be hard-headed and not completely. Ooh, that turned out nice. Okay, so I like that. Let's go back to the very front of the journal. I think it turned out beautiful. Oh my gosh, this thing is so massive. I love the charms. I love the cover. I love all these things. I added this little plaque that says live in the moment. One of the things I heard in one of the documentaries, it was talking about this during the burning times, when you knew in your community that people were being accused, what it would be like to be in your home, sitting in a chair, listening to the sounds of the night, and then comes a knock on the door. And you think, I'm next. So this live in the moment, we really don't know what tomorrow will bring. I just thought that was really poignant for this particular journal. I added some little cards here. These look like little game pieces or something. I found those at work in with the cards. We have all sorts of cards, and I don't know, it's got what to me looks like it could be a princess warrior or a witch or some sort of strong woman. And then there is the owl, and there is a beautiful moth. So I thought that was very fitting. The old postcard is here, and here we had this acorn that someone turned into a pendant, and then we had the acorns that I found that day in the yard. I love the shadow box. I haven't added anything else really to this. So I'm just going to flip through the pages. I don't think we need to talk about everything again. I think it is absolutely beautiful as a whole piece. I remember the henbane. I've gone back through and added some little things like numbers, different things from the image zine, the numbers and such. I just love all of the different layers, the notes that I can go back and read, the different cards, the little flower. It tells a story when it's all done. I want to read more about the Voodoo Queen, Marie Catherine Laveau. I hope I'm saying that right. Then we have Macbeth and Shakespeare. We learned about Sulamith wolfing and how bees are very symbolic. They're also feared. Some people will kill a bee if they see it. Love the purple. The little witch sketched there. Beware. And then beware of labels. All of these notes that I can go back and read. It's just full of beautiful pages. Hansel and Gretel, memories of thinking about witches, the Chronicles of Narnia and the White Witch, all of this beautiful yellow, colors of fall, more color here, and thinking about time, the word hag, And I went back and added a word, baleful magic. Baleful means harmful. So I do intend, most definitely, to continue to add to this when I come across things. This is going on the shelf as the witch journal for sure. That was attached with a straight pen. I don't know if you saw that. Some people are very afraid of voodoo dolls and pens going into the dolls. More beautiful pages. Slide that over a tiny bit. I just love it. I will continue to add to this for a long time. There's my beautiful Alan Rickman, and more Shakespeare, more witches from Harry Potter. Here is the key to understanding the book, and the little simple charm. And then we come to today, October 31st, the last day. Another card by Sulamith Wolfing. And I have this that I have to fill in. We did some distressing. The beautiful door. I love the stamp. Now, let me explain to you what's going to happen in the rest of the journal. First of all, let me show you these. One of my subscribers and friends on the channel, her name is Jennifer. Her brother is an artist. His name is Chris Kuhn. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Day of the Dead art. This is going into this journal. Starting after October 31st, all the subsequent pages are going to be pages of things that I wanted to use and haven't gotten to yet. So looking at all these colors, the purple is the messenger of wisdom. Purple is a royal color. I can see that being wisdom. And then the red or orange background is the messenger of prophecy. I love these spades that we can see on the birds. They're in different places. Look at this one, and then this one, and then it looks like there's one on top of the beak. The white one is the messenger of light. These beautiful ravens, and I believe they're painted for the celebration of Day of the Dead. So I'm going to put his name on these, of course, so I can remember the artist, and maybe Jennifer can share a website or something. I will look into that. All of the rest of the pages, I've done a little bit of, and Sandra, I think you sent me this book page, maybe from an art magazine. Look at the bird on top of the pumpkin. Quoth the Raven, and you can see Edgar Allan Poe. This is from an old French alphabet book from 1890. I put some ribbon in there that I really like. Here's some of the vintage wrapping paper that had the lantern flower on it. I think that's like a Chinese lantern. Have you seen those? I've done some distressing on this page. There's a little image from the image zine. This came from a book of anatomy. Look at that ink stain. It looks to me like a samurai with a sword, or a long, like, it almost looks like a jousting, one of those posts or whatever, with a sword in the air. I don't know if you can see that or not. I just poured ink on the page, and that came out looking so cool. We have the butterfly that I sprayed through the template from that book I had. And, oh, I love this postcard. It's called Spellbound by Peter Prokonic. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I want to do some more distressing on these pages. And then this came from some old paper. This is a, where you do the rubbings, like if you take paper and put it on something that's raised and use a crayon. It's kind of like an engraving, or I forget what they're called, like crayon rubbings, but these were tombstones from the 1700s in New England. And look at the design on this one. Very primitive looking angels, the skull, and it looks like maybe the sun and the moon. Deposited beneath this stone the mortal part of Mrs. Susanna Jane, the amiable wife of Mr. Peter Jane, who lived beloved and died universally lamented on August 8th, 1776, in the 46th year of her age. Very young. Here are some stickers that I really liked. And what do we have? think some pages have stuck together. Yes. There's some stickers I like. I have some work to do on this page, although I can see myself like right now. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to glue these pages together because this book has gotten really thick. You can see the pages are actually having a hard time opening up fully. Oh, but I love this book. Here we have a broom. I found this little cutout, which was so cute. Part of a mushroom card. You can see this is where I tore a page out. There are a couple of pockets here. These were actually torn from some of the paper I used to slide underneath pages I was working on. And I have a lot more space here to add things that I love. I'm also going to put in, you know, I can't think at this time of the day. I'm just tired from the work day. An index or a glossary, maybe both, where you can look things up. So I do want to have an alphabetical listing of where things are in the book, which means I will probably go through and number the pages. In addition to the dates, I will do something really cohesive to put numbers through the book. And here I put this really pretty burlap bag here with the bright dots on it. These are all of the tarot cards that I have found. Some of these tarot cards are a little bit graphic, and again, I don't use tarot cards. I love the artwork. Oh, I love the fabric. This is some of that gossamer paper that I bought a while back, and it looked to me, I was thinking about spiders' webs, or maybe thinking about hair from a fairy or some old wizard or something like that. So I just took a safety pin and pinned that onto this page. I cannot wait to add this. I have a stack of things that I want to use. So many things. Really pretty old paper, lots of purple. Here's Jane Austen, who lived in the 1700s, not long after the burning times. And you know, some people have said in these documentaries talking about the witches, it's so unfortunate that they lived when they did. Some of these girls were barely teenagers when they died. And then you had young girls who were very impressionable, maybe bored, who got caught up in the drama of having the power to accuse other people. It was so horrible. This stuff that happened was dreadful. I have these stamps with the clocks. Here is a stamp with Edgar Allan Poe. Here's a little sketch that I found in an old journal. And some of the pages I had pulled out, I don't even know why. I've got the girl with the bucket and the bird right in her face, and it says she only looks scary. Think about that. It breaks my heart to think about people suffering when they haven't done anything wrong. And that has happened so many times to so many cultures, so many races, so many people. There is a stamp that says chemistry. I want to add that. I love this old book page with very old, like from the 1700s, kitchen utensils and things like that. I mean, I could go on and on showing you things that I have pulled out that I want to go in this journal. But I'm going to stop for now. Oh, I just love this book so much. I really, really love it. And I appreciate everyone who has walked with me through this adventure. This has been an amazing learning experience for me, and I hope that it has been a good experience for the people who have followed along. Thank you so much for sharing in it. Thank you to new subscribers. I hope you'll stay. I do have some things planned for the month of November. There will be another image zine out that you can download and keep for your collection or cut out of. Whatever you want to do with it, let's just have fun. And thank you for watching. Bye for now.